It's coffee break. Happy May, everyone. We finally got into it.
Yeah.
Yay.
Magical Girl May.
Last Friday, Ghost came out with their new album.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we talk about Ghost every now and then. Skeletor. It is a rock album, not metal.
Yeah.
Most of the songs are pretty good, man.
It is good. I like it a lot. I'm in love with Peacefield.
Yep.
It's the best.
Yeah, there's some really, really awesome songs. Umbra, which doesn't have a music video yet, but it sure will.
I feel like Umbra would really pop off during a live performance because it's so instrumental heavy.
Yeah, well, that's why they're playing it in their live performances. Pokemon trading card game, Pocket. Mm-hmm. We just got a new booster pack.
Yeah.
With, Alola.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to remember the name of that place.
They're a couple of like different stuff. A lot of easy ways to get hourglasses with this one.
Yeah.
Because this new like Rayquaza event that dropped at the same time.
Yep.
So I like that.
Yeah, I've been opening a lot of packs.
Because opening the packs is the fun part, so making it easier to open more and more, I think is a good thing.
I don't think opening the packs is the fun part, because I'm still trying to finish up Palkia. I keep doing that. Palkia and Dialga. I'm working on Dialga. I'm only missing 2 cards, but now I'm just opening packs and not getting anything.
Especially now at the point where there's so many packs, trying to, if you want to complete any of them, it's a lot.
Yeah, and now with the shinies added to them?
Yeah, which I think they're fun. I got 2 shiny cards today.
Yeah, what'd you get?
I got my 10-pack pull. I got a shiny Gengar.
Nice.
And I got a shiny full art Blastoise. I think it was shiny.
Yeah.
It was a full art and very impressive.
It was a shiny.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I didn't get anything. So we got a few trailers that just all decided to drop yesterday or the day before, whatever, this week.
Yes.
Which one do you want to start with?
Let's start with Fear Street.
Okay, Fear Street Prom Night. This is the 4th Fear Street?
So the first 3 came out a while ago.
Yes.
4, 5 years?
No, not even. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it was that long.
Yeah, we were watching them in a different apartment.
We were.
Because we've been here.
That's
Doesn't
how
matter.
That's how I remembered.
Yeah, there's a certain time length.
No, the last 3 were a trilogy. They were a set.
Yes.
One larger story. Is this 4th one going to tie into that larger story? It takes place in the same town as the originals.
I don't know. They didn't do... If I remember correctly, because we only saw the first 2.
Yes.
And the first one took place in, like, modern times.
Yeah.
And then the second one was, like, the 80s lake camp
I really
place.
liked that one.
And then the third one was supposed to take place in the 1700s?
Yeah, it was going to be like a witch trial type deal kind of thing.
And then now this one's prom night, but modern?
80s. They said 88.
Okay.
They said class of 88.
I wonder if that's tied to the second one. It might be. I don't know. It looks fun.
Yeah, like a R.L. Stein schlocky horror.
Yep. For teenagers.
Yep.
And the weird thing is there's gore in these.
Yes.
And the monsters are real.
His, because everyone knows R.L. Stein for Goosebumps, which was aimed more for younger audiences. He did have, like, teenager-based.
Yeah.
And he did, like, go more into the gore and blood and horror and stuff. So it's cool seeing him do more of that.
Yeah.
Because he barely got to.
Well, you still got Goosebumps, the TV show, going on. Mm-hmm. Which last season was amazing.
It was. It was really good.
And now we're still making Fear Street movies.
It's a good time for R.L. Stein.
Yeah. He's got some fun stuff. I am excited. Comes out May 23rd on Netflix. Mm-hmm. May 23rd is also Final Reckoning, The Last Mission Impossible.
Oh, dang.
And the live-action Lilo and Stitch.
So, it's something for everybody's.
Yeah. So I guess if you didn't want to watch either of those, you could watch Fear Street.
Yeah.
Or Kick Rocks. I don't know. What?
But I don't want to watch any of them. Then go away.
Yeah. Sorry I bothered you. The other trailer was The Other. It's called The Other.
Yeah.
And what is it? I don't know. The trailer didn't explain much to me.
It looked like such a run-of-the-mill horror. Like, it looks like it would be fine. You know? Like, a little girl gets adopted by a new family. A monster killed her parents.
Yeah.
It follows her into this new place.
Yeah.
maybe there's like a bigger theme underlying that the trailer doesn't reveal.
It started out like it was like an homage to these older classic horror films from this like 70s. You know, I saw, well, I guess not Poltergeist, but there are some Poltergeist type shots, and I was thinking The Omen.
Yes.
And The Exorcist.
A lot of Exorcist stuff.
So maybe it's an art piece and the trailer can't reveal everything to us?
Maybe.
Okay. There was just not much to say, and that kind of bummed me out. It was the point of a trailer is to hype it up.
Yes.
Right? To grab your attention and be like, ooh, check this out.
Yeah.
All it made me do was just like, what is it?
Yeah.
I get it. It's a horror movie. You're showing me like blood and tension and stabbing.
Yes. Like the sprinkling threats of various gore and whatever that we'll see, gore and horror, isn't as enticing as having a better like synopsis of what the plot. What's your log line?
Yes.
What's our theme? What are we doing? Because I could watch any run-of-the-mill Blumhouse movie and get random horror and gore.
True. Yeah. And it by the guy who did Final Destinations?
Yeah, but I don't know why that's like a point of praise. Final Destination isn't good.
I've never seen one. We're gonna have to start watching them soon.
God, the one with the roller coaster.
3.
That one was my favorite, but it wasn't good.
It's okay. The next trailer was Weapons.
This one was the one I was most interested with.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm intrigued by the mystery. Is it supernatural? Is it not?
Well, it's called Weapons, and so the trailer will tell you that one morning at school, everybody went except for this one teacher's class, because the morning before at like 2:17, they just got up out of their beds and just walked out of their house and disappeared. So now you got a classroom of kids just AWOL.
Yes.
And they're blaming the town's blaming the teacher, which obviously
Understandable.
But then we start seeing that like the kids come back and they're a little different.
Yeah.
And they're chasing, and people are running with their arms out because they don't know like how to actually run. I don't know.
That's how kids do.
Naruto run everywhere. When undead small children Naruto run at you, you've got problems.
You're doomed. No, I want to know what it is. If it's like a specific kind of monster, or if it's not. If none of the like kids coming back is real and it's all in her head. If she is the bad guy,
yeah.
I'm intrigued. I want to know the answers. This is the same feeling I got when I saw the trailer for Long Legs.
Okay.
So, that's the one I'm most interested in out of this batch that we're covering.
Damn. It's the director.
Yeah?
I don't know his name, but it said from the director of Barbarian. This guy is kind of a little important to me right now, because I did not like Barbarian.
I haven't seen it.
I tried to watch it a while ago. It was terrible. I'll give Weapons a shot, but if this doesn't work, I'm afraid what he's going to do to Resident Evil.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why he's a little important to me. It's like, the last two really didn't do it.
I mean, maybe this is him redeeming himself.
Yeah.
Figuring it out.
Well, this is the movie that landed him that job. Mm-hmm. So hopefully it's a good movie.
And it's horror, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Was Barbarian horror?
Yes.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? I've never even heard of this movie.
4 or 5 years ago. It was one of those sleeper like horror films where like true horror fans were like, this is really good. And yeah, I watched it and I was just like, I don't get it.
Not for you.
Sorry, Terrifier 2 was still better. I will always stand by that. Smashing Machine.
Yeah. Okay. You go first.
I don't know whether to say a joke or talk about how I'm a little afraid of this.
They should get every single award for makeup.
Oh, yeah.
He is unrecognizable.
Okay, so it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing a white guy, and he's got full, like, face makeup on.
It's so good.
It looks really good. The only problem is, we now know how bad of an actor Dwayne is.
Yes.
Because with all this money and talent, and how rich he is, too, he didn't get a voice coach. He still has his normal voice
Yeah.
while he's looking like a different person. And
Which-
I would have wanted him to go full,
Yeah.
you know?
Like, I get it, but I don't know. My biggest thing, so the makeup is incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
This is the most impressive makeup and prosthetics I've ever seen, ever. And it's more impressive that it's not CG'd or anything. At least I don't think it is.
Oh, no.
I get the feeling this is going to be a movie that is very slow and very unfortunately boring. Despite covering a topic as thrilling as fights,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot of, like, moseying around and art shots of them being sad.
Well, it's a
and
biopic.
turning their wheels.
It's a biopic about this guy's life.
Yeah.
Ben Safrey is directing this.
Yes.
He is known for directing Uncut Gems with his brother.
He also was in
He
The
also-
Curse.
Yeah, he starred and helped produce and direct The Curse with Nathan Fielderman.
Yeah, Fielder.
Fielder.
A name that strikes unending fear
Uh,
inside of me.
That the way that show ended, I don't know. It's creepy, dude. There's just something going on with this guy. He thinks a little differently, but I think this is more like tamed back
Yes.
compared to what The Curse was.
I don't think he's going to make me question reality and shrink within myself.
Yeah. But this one looks like it's definitely going for the Oscars.
Yes.
You know?
I'm sure it'll be good. I don't know if it's up my alley necessarily. I feel like I would be bored throughout most of it.
Yeah, it's definitely not one I would want to watch in theaters. But if I did, I would know that it would be like 2.5 hours and everyone else in there is going to be just as chill.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and the final trailer.
Yeah.
Now you see me, now you don't.
Uh-huh.
Okay. How much did it cost to get Lex Luthor to come back?
We got Morgan Freeman
Yep.
and Woody Harrelson
Yep.
and what's his name? This poor kid. He's like that new up and comer. He was in the Dungeons and Dragons movie. He was also in Detective Pikachu.
Smith.
Justice. Yeah.
Justice Smith.
He's so good. And yet he keeps getting movies that I'm like, you deserve better.
He had Detective Pikachu.
He did. And Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. The joke there is, so the trailer kind of explains everything to you. It's another terrible trailer where you're like, oh, I know the story.
Yeah. What was the last one that we saw that did that?
Blood of Zeus
That's
season 3.
right.
They're like at one point just killing Hades, and you're like, oh, that happens. So it's been years, and what is his name? Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Lex Luthor, right?
Yes. Has now left his team and made his own, and then they go off to rob somebody.
Yeah.
It doesn't go well, and then his old team members show up.
Yeah.
And then they all bail out on a zip line.
And that's 8
This is all in the trailer.
8 magicians versus 1 international war criminal or whatever.
I forgot that the whole thing was that they're magicians that just rob rich people,
Yeah.
but their magic isn't real.
Okay, so that's the thing. I viscerally hate these films. I tried watching the first Now You See Me,
Yeah.
and I hated it because it's just lazy. Okay, if I'm going into a movie that's talking about magic, especially practical magic, I want it to actually be practical. But they'll just, like, we see it in this trailer. They're just like, it's just CG. It's just obviously fake. And, like, I understand, obviously, it's going to be fake for the sake of the plot.
Yeah.
But I wish they had, like, because they compare it to The Prestige, which is, I don't think it's fair to compare them, but The Prestige is another one about a magician, and they will show you how the magic acts work. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, he'll show you how, but those actors aren't doing them.
Yeah, but it's the point afterwards where it's like, and this is how we did it. And they don't do that with Now You See Me. They'll just be like, and now we're going to do this. We're going to run over there. I'll teleport to the other side of the world. and then I'll teleport back in front of you, and then I'll magically change a teacup into a 700-pound brick of gold. And they do that. And there's no explanation to how they did any of that. They just do it, like magic.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
So I really enjoyed the first movie. I hated the second one. And when I read there was going to be a third one, I was like, I doubt it. And it's been years, because I did that in the 2010s.
Yeah.
It's 2025.
This is also an old franchise.
It is, and it's weird to bring it back. That these actors, they have nothing else going on.
It's a shame, honestly.
It's a shame to know that this is going to barely break even in the box office. And what, we're gonna watch it occasionally on a no one's gonna. You see it one time and it's gonna be forgotten. Why did you even bother? How much money did they sink into this thing?
Also, what producer or director sat there and went, oh yeah, you know what's gonna make us the big bucks? The third movie in a franchise that hasn't done anything in a decade, and the sequel was not well received.
No. Which is called Now You See Me Too.
Yeah.
So here we go again with bad naming convention. Now you see me, now you see me too, now you see me, now you don't.
Yeah. Horrible.
It should have
Garbage.
Yeah. So those were the movie trailers.
I made my points clear.
Okay. I didn't want to fill up that much time with those, but they're also kind of interesting. Which movie trailer got your attention? I'm curious. The Predator trailer from last week, Badlands.
Yeah.
They show the skulls in a Predator ship.
Yeah.
And a lot of people suspect that the center one is an alien from Independence Day.
Cool.
But there has been rumors for a while, and even the director of this movie was talking about wanting to do an Alien versus Predator. Are we moving in that direction?
It's been a while. I'd be into it.
I would love to have another one. I love the first Alien versus Predator. It's not great, but I mean, when that's all you have, it's an amazing film.
Dumb fun. I feel like the most recent Predator stuff has been very good. And I really liked Alien Romulus. So I feel like only good things could come of this at this point in time. If you would have asked me like 7 years ago, I'd be like, no way. But now that we have Prey, Badlands, Romulus, I feel like we got something.
We got the Alien television series, and we got the Predator Killer Amongst the Killers. No.
Yeah, they're animated ones coming out.
Yeah.
We got lots of. I would be into it.
Yeah. So this might be the time, and it's Disney, so they could totally Avengers this.
Yes. Also, I bet they would appreciate the money.
Yeah. Ryan Coogler.
Coogan? Who? Who is this?
Oh my god, the director of Sinners.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name.
Well, thanks. Is actually working on the revival of X-Files.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Mulder and Scully?
The actress for Scully has been talking about it.
Is it going to be the same, like, actors, or are they going to just recast them so they can be younger and just have new adventures? Adventures feels like the wrong word.
Some were adventures, some were just straight up bad. The Peacocks. What? This is the third time they've done this?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've tried to bring it back a few times, and it got really weird to the point where yes, aliens are real in their universe.
Of course, yeah.
But it doesn't have to be like that. I felt like the later seasons of the show, before the revival, where it was a new team, right? It totally works. Yeah. The only thing was, I think like season 9, they were just straight up fighting demons.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is just like, it was like satanic. And it was just like, this doesn't make sense. It's supposed to be aliens and like monsters.
Cryptids and whatnot.
Yeah, so you kind of lost the plot there. But if you just keep it like that, and have those fun Monsters of the Week episodes with your plot running through it.
We don't have things like that anymore. We don't really have the weird Monster of the Week type stuff. Unless if it's like those, like, like the various doctor shows or detective shows.
True.
And that's it.
And this is a detective show if we think about it.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, like Criminal Minds kind of detective show.
I didn't grow up watching X-Files, and finally, at one point in my young adult life, I was just like, let's check it out. I fell in love. Mm-hmm. I watched as fast as I could the whole thing, and if I got to a moment where a movie was supposed to be there, I literally stopped watching the show and ran off to go to the nearest like record store so I could find the DVD of it, because I knew it was so old it would be hard to find.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, that's how I collected the 2 movies. I still have them. And then I watched them with the show. I watched the revival of it. Mm-hmm. I really love it. Wasn't a big fan of the revival because, again, it just got weirder.
Yes.
But I think you could definitely bring back a concept like this, and it could just go.
Yeah.
You don't have to have Scully or Mulder or anybody else already established. Mm-hmm. It's just them trying to solve freaky things.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
That was the whole plot.
That's the sell.
So I am excited. I don't know when this will come around. Probably next year? Maybe 2 years?
I would say 2-3 years probably.
Yeah.
Just to like, production. Pre-production. Always obnoxious.
It is. Yawn.
Big yawn.
Steven Spielberg says that the greatest American film made is Apocalypse Now.
Wow.
He said this at AFI, the American Film Institution, where they were celebrating the Francis Ford Coppola and all that he's done for cinema.
Fair.
Right?
Understandable.
And it wasn't just him. Lucas was there. Pacino was there. De Niro. There's just some big names. And they're all talking about how this guy, he's changed them and inspired them to do better. And then that's what built up Hollywood. They're not wrong.
They're not.
It is the beginnings of it. It's sad that Coppola's career ends with Megapolis.
Yeah. I mean, at least, you know what? People talked about it. People still reference it, for better or for worse.
Yeah,
Probably
I guess.
not the way he thought it would.
Yeah, Apocalypse Now.
It is huge. Like, it is a big landmark kind of cinematography.
Which version did you watch?
I haven't watched a full version of Apocalypse Now. We studied scenes.
Dude, you suck at this.
We studied scenes in all of our classes.
I ask you, like, hey, you've been to 200 Us? And you're like, never went. And it's like, okay, great conversation we'll have here.
I've seen all the important scenes. I've seen the opening, like, first 10-20 minutes of Apocalypse Now. I've seen the scene where with the cow.
Yep.
I've seen Willem Dafoe's in it,
Yep.
isn't he?
No.
Isn't he?
No, Harrison Ford is, though.
Is he?
Yeah. He's like an extra, and he's really young, so he just, like, runs by.
Nice.
And then Emilio Estevez is also in it, I think.
Maybe that's who I was thinking of. I've seen, like, clips of them talking and stuff. I just haven't seen the whole thing in order. I know it's like 4 hours long.
4 hours. Yeah, so I've seen the original cut, and then I saw the extended director's cut, which adds, I think, like 30 minutes to it. It's a strong 4-hour movie. You really go on that journey with him down the river.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, this takes a while. I wouldn't say it's the greatest one, though.
No, I understand why Steven Spielberg would say that.
Yeah.
He's not going to pick one of his own movies. What he really wants to say is
Mr.
something
Coppola,
like E.T. or...
You did great and inspired so many others, but you didn't do Jurassic Park.
I think many people, especially older people, would pick a Spielberg film as the best or the greatest American film ever made. So I appreciate him for being humble enough to not name drop himself.
Robert Zemeckis, Back to the Future.
That is a good one. This is a tough question.
It is.
It's...
Because you gotta stay American only. That's actually the question of the week. What's the best American-made film?
Nice.
And then I'll put in a few good ones, and then you can just comment on your own.
Yeah, because I have to, like, think about that. Because also, I'm like, how many of the ones I'm thinking of aren't American-made? They're, like, Canadian or British.
Well, I think the best film ever made is extended cut of The Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, but that's not American.
And I understand that that's not for everyone.
Uh-huh.
You know? Oh, and yeah, it's definitely not American. I'm sorry. I think other countries make better things than America.
There are creative. You speak especially like Chinese films and stuff. Oh my god. They have such a different way of approaching like camera angles, cinematography. American movies, especially like more recent ones, not to be that guy, but like they're all very samey. They're all very back and forth, same old.
Well, we're
shots
making
we
Now
always
You See Me, Now You Don't.
Oh god.
Like, really?
Yeah.
You just... the idea of a film, when you create a film and that you showcase it in a theater and then you release a physical copy for people to own in their homes, is because that they love and cherish this art so much. They want a piece of it to always be able to be part of it.
Yeah, to go back and
Right?
rewatch it over and over
The
again.
entire intention is legacy.
Yes.
And when you make Now You See Me, Now You Don't,
Yeah.
10 years afterwards, you've now wasted, what, $200 million? And those people's careers that either have already come to end or just abruptly, it's over.
It's oh god. It's like having like cake, like a homemade cake versus a bag of potato chips. Like this is a potato chip movie. It's not gonna fill you up. It's not gonna be satisfying.
Yeah, it's not going to have passion or
Like you
insight.
You can devour it for like a couple minutes, but you're gonna want more.
Well, that's another thing. I was thinking about this with Saw. We'll talk about Saw later, but how I used to watch those every year in theaters, or I'd wait for the DVD to come out, right? But I was in high school when most of these came out,
Yeah.
and I used to watch dumb movies like Now You See Me, right? When I watched them, I was actually in film school, so that was more interesting to see them that way. But I remember watching a lot of dumb movies in high school that just aren't important at all.
Yeah. But
So there is an audience out there. It's just sometimes they grow up.
I think the biggest thing about this one isn't that it's a dumb movie. It's that it's bringing huge name actors with legacy characters and spending a bunch of money on it. It's like Ocean's 8. Remember that one?
Yeah.
That one was dumb.
Oh, Ocean's 8, the girl one.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
was shocked at how it just ended. I was like, oh, it's actually just over. Like they get together, they make their plan, and then it was done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. That
Yeah.
was stupid.
Well, it went so well. There's no Ocean's 9.
Yeah.
That movie, like they have the plot, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go steal the necklace or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not fun anymore.
It's also
And you're like, this is supposed to be the funnest part.
it's this crazy thing. So whenever there's like a heist, there's two options. Either they say what the heist is going to be, and we watch them like doing the heist at the same time as they're explaining it, and then you'll run into some hiccup or something like, oh, a bad guy's here we weren't expecting, and then they fight them and then they win. Or they explain the heist beforehand, and then during the heist afterwards, like many smaller things go awry. And that's how usually heist things work. With this one, there was no hiccup. It was like that first where as they're explaining what their plan is, they were doing it, and then they did it. There was nothing got in their way. They just did it. There was no bad guy. There was no climactic fight or anything.
Was there not?
No.
I thought like a guy got away with. Never mind.
I think maybe one person started running somewhere, but like Aquafina or somebody like just drop kicked him and ended. Like it was so not a thing. And because I remember being like legitimately shocked when the resolution was happening, and I'm like, oh, it's over.
Yeah, that was a flash in the pan type of movie right there. So yeah, what do you think is the best American-made movie?
Little Miss Sunshine's really good.
What?
What?
For best?
Yeah.
Little Miss Sunshine?
I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
I think it's really good.
Okay, I brought in a classic that really showcases America.
Huh.
It's got Huey Lewis and the News in it.
Oh, right. Back to the Future.
Yeah. Michael J. Fox, America's sweetheart. We adopted him from Canada.
But I would say Little Miss Sunshine feels more like Americana, like real America, like you know what I mean. That's a real family in America.
Okay, we're the Millers. It's the same concept.
That's not. It is
Instead of a dead body, it's weed.
not. Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. A documentary called Wick is Pain
Okay.
about the making of John Wick, the first movie, is coming out soon. And it was about how it wasn't almost made.
Well, now that our franchise hasn't worked out, we'll just gotta keep milking
What do
this
you
this
mean?
name and brand. Are they still making John Wick movies?
Yes, there will be a spin-off called Ballerina later this year.
Oh, right.
And it might be really soon.
Yeah.
And then they are working on John Wick 5.
It's weird. This is weird.
Right.
Because, like, it doesn't feel like one that needs a franchise. This feels
But what
like
do you-
Saw.
there's the Continental.
Yes. Like, I don't know. Like, it makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
they've made it make sense in the universe, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel real. Like, when I think of John Wick, I don't think of any of the spin-off stuff or the sequels or anything.
Look, the first movie is excellent. The second one was kind of lamer.
It was fine.
And
It was a sequel.
The third one, I was just like, I guess we're just fighting.
I fell asleep at some point.
Yeah.
He was sitting around talking to somebody in a desert, and I just could not keep my eyes
That
open.
was all the talking there was, dude.
Yes.
I mean, the rest of it is just straight up fighting. I mean, he's on a horse riding in the streets of New York, and you're just like, where'd you get it?
I was like, was this really the best way we could execute this plotline?
So, yeah, that's coming out. And then Sergeant Rock.
What's that?
Okay, I talked about this a few months ago. I think November.
Okay. That was a while ago.
I know. And it was, at the time, a DC movie based on the character Sergeant Rock, who was introduced in, like, the 1930s.
Okay.
And it was about him fighting Nazis. And
Nice.
originally it had Daniel Craig as
Ah.
Sergeant Rock. And they were like, hey, this is going to be a thing. And we never heard anything. So I heard about it again recently.
Ah.
Colin Farrell is now attached to play Sergeant Rock.
Oh.
And DC has decided to not make the movie.
Oh.
They said there's a few conflicting reports on why they didn't want to do it. One was outdoor, like exterior locations.
Okay. Sounds like an excuse.
Yeah. And then another one was that the Warner Brothers executives don't have faith in the director.
Well, that sounds a bit more likely.
And then they're like, at the end of this fiscal year, we'll reassess and see if we want to still make this movie.
This is a DC.
DCU.
Colin Farrell. Isn't he already Penguin?
Yeah, but that's not DCU.
Oh, Colin just can't get enough of that DC money, though.
Well, somebody else is playing Bullseye now.
True. I forgot. What a weirdly different Bullseye.
I prefer the new one over him.
They're both fun in radically different ways.
Yes, the new one's just more fun in the way I would want him to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just everything's a weapon.
Yes. Old Colin Farrell Bullseye was funny.
Yeah.
He made me giggle.
He was kind of wacky playing the character.
Yeah.
So, we'll find out about Sergeant Rock, but if you were looking forward to it, time to just
Yeah.
give up.
Yeah.
Okay, and Warner Brothers Discovery, thank you for leaving your phone on something that will rattle.
I didn't think it would.
My phone's not even in this room.
Yeah, I'll put it on the floor.
Warner Brothers Discovery was being sued by the son-in-law of the creator of Superman.
Dang.
The Superman estate, right? Over copyright infringement laws or something like that.
Okay.
For showing off the character in certain countries. He took this to federal court, Supreme Court, right? Mm-hmm. And Supreme Court was like, hey, our copyright laws aren't the same as those people's copyright laws, and this isn't a federal matter.
Dang.
So they just threw the whole case out, and Warner Brothers won.
Dang, that sucks.
Well, he was asking for some ridiculous things.
That is weird.
And they kind of made, like, the judge kind of made that very apparent.
Yeah.
Where he was asking for the residuals from Batman v Superman,
Oh, really?
Black Adam,
Oh.
and Shazam.
Okay.
And I was like, you're missing a few.
Yes.
But what are you talking about, you know?
That's so just a guy who's greedy.
Yeah, he just wanted to just hurt.
Has like a bit of a cling to something his like grandfather did.
But it's not even he just married into the family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What
so
a
like
loser.
he doesn't have any actual control over Superman.
Screw you.
Warner Brothers Discovery came out and they're like, "Hey, we have always maintained and successfully used Superman." End of story.
I mean, I guess. Except for that one time during The Flash. In the movie The Flash, when they use like horrible AI CG footage of the ones that passed away.
Yeah, but that's gone. It's over now. It's the DCU now.
I can't help but notice he didn't list off that one.
By the way, the guy who was in charge of DC to let that happen sucked.
Yes.
That's why we have new CEOs in there.
That's why Warner Brothers is constantly pissing themselves.
Yes. So, one of the weirdest things to do with Superman is now put him on U.S. legal tender. There will be gold and silver coins minted with Superman and eventually Batman. There are different designs.
So the Superman one, I was so confused. You showed them to me, and I didn't say anything for a hot second, because I couldn't understand what the hell I was looking at. Because I saw Superman, and I'm like, that's Superman. And I'm like, why is one Superman and one just a regular farmer? And then it took me a hot second. I'm like, Kent. It's Clark Kent.
Wow.
He didn't look. I didn't think about it.
Even when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cute. He's by his farm.
It is cute. I'm stupid. No, this is fun. They used to do it. Like, there was Pokemon coins back in the 2000s. Some point.
When?
Yeah, these are like super rare items. Like, they don't make them. I don't know if they were ever legal tender, but they had Pokemon-like coins.
Okay.
And that was a thing that they used to do. They used to do fun things with coins.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, they first started doing the 50 states. Mm-hmm. You know, I'd have to wait for each, like, so many months for them to print the new one.
Did you have the map of
the
America?
Gigantic black map that would fold out, and you could push them into it, and it didn't work, and you always ruined the map?
Yes.
Yes.
My aunt had one.
Yeah, and I was like, they didn't do this right.
No, God, no.
No. But that was a thing, and we lived through it.
I think, this is like a conspiracy theory, I think they stopped doing it because in the cultural zeitgeist, collecting coins was considered incredibly stupid and lame. So I think that's why they stopped doing that.
Why would that be stupid and lame?
I don't know. That was a thing, like, in Friends, you know, or whatever. It was like, what are you collecting coins? Ross, because you're a nerd, or whatever. And so, I think, conspiracy theory, I think that's why they stopped doing that.
People collect coins.
Yes.
And there's some really cool coins out there. Like, have you ever seen silver pennies?
I have.
Yeah.
They are cool.
They are pretty cool.
I like coins. I'm into it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would want one, but I think they're $50.
Yeah. How much is the actual coin?
I think the coin's worth $50, but it's like, yeah, but that's a collector's item.
Yeah, you don't. You want to spend money on money you're not going to spend?
Yeah, right? Box office trolls.
Box office trolls.
Okay, so we have number 1, Sinners.
It's number 1 for a second week in a row.
I believe it's the highest grossing vampire film ever.
I so want to watch it. Everything I've heard has sounded cooler and cooler. I've seen such high praise for it. Cannot wait for it to hit streaming or whatever. Can't wait.
Number 2, Star Wars Episode 3.
Oh, really?
Revenge of the Sith, the 20th anniversary.
Yeah, they keep doing this. Like re-releasing old classics.
Yeah.
And those get good numbers. Mm-hmm. But whenever they try to do like a remake or a sequel, that one doesn't work out as much.
Because we don't want that.
No.
We've all said no more of this. Mm-hmm. And they all went, what?
I am
You don't want Lilo and Stitch?
I am overwhelmed by the amount of Star Wars stuff they announced last week. Was that last week or the week before?
2 weeks ago?
Woof.
Yeah. No, it was last week.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's been a lot of Star Wars stuff, and it still is a lot of Star Wars stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm starting to get very upset with Star Wars. Number 2, The Accountant 2.
Good for them.
Sorry, that's number 3. Number 4, a Minecraft movie.
Boo.
Number 5, Until Dawn. I have read nothing good about this movie.
Yeah.
In fact, I have heard the best thing you could do with this movie is not watch it.
It's such a shame. I heard that it does adapt faithfully certain things from the game it's based on. Unfortunately, it's a lot of the things that aren't good from that game, like the cringy bad dialogue.
Oh, nice.
The character, the like cardboard cutout personalities for some of these characters.
Nice. Yeah, they just didn't stick to what the game was already, and they just made their own thing and
Yep.
just threw that out there.
Just hijack another franchise's name to put your own dumber idea onto.
And I think the culprit here to blame is Screen Gems.
Mm-hmm.
And Screen Gems, if I remember correctly, is a German company. They also own the rights of live-action Resident Evil.
Yep.
And this is why I know it's them. Because they just don't care about the source material.
They don't. They don't.
Look
they don't
at
even...
Monster Hunter.
Oh God.
You thought these guys were going to do a good job?
So bad. So bad. So disappointing.
Yeah. Well, number 6, King of Kings.
Cool.
That's that animated one
Oh.
for Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 7, The Immature.
Okay.
Number 8, Warfare.
Okay.
Number 9, Pink Floyd, Live at Pompeii.
Oh. Interesting.
It's a very old one.
Low pickings this week, huh?
And number 10, The Legend of Ochi.
Ochi? It's an A24 movie.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I haven't heard of it. I bet it's A24, so it's unique, I bet. A lot of A24 is happening right now. Like Warfare.
Yeah, and they're going to come out with Smashing Machines. Sorry, I'm looking at number 13, Cheech and Chong's last movie.
What?
It just came out.
Really? I thought one of them was dead.
It came out in 832 different theaters, and each theater averaged about... Where'd it go? $673 for each theater having this open. It made a total gross of $560,000.
Well, what else are you gonna do? I thought one of them was dead. Isn't one of them
No,
dead?
I thought they're both alive.
I'm not sure. They're old.
Yes, they are.
These
They're
are
very old.
ancient characters.
You know what's weird? They started up their own, like, marijuana brand,
Yeah, it makes sense.
Cheech and Chong.
Of course.
And they actively sell products under that. And I was like, about time.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, these are now legendary characters.
Yeah, now it's the thing where I don't know if some 25-year-old going into the shop to get marijuana even really knows who Cheech and Chong are.
They should know them. But I don't know how many of us are watching their movies. Their movies never entertained me.
No.
And honestly, when you smoke, you don't act like that at all.
No, absolutely not.
I love stoner flicks, but theirs really sucked. Well, like, I'm more of a Harold and Kumar fan.
The first one's so funny. Oh my god. It's when, like, their car gets stolen or whatever, and there's, like, 20 takes of Harold
John Chow.
just screaming.
In the middle of a gas station parking lot. Yeah. God, they were good. We don't make those anymore.
We don't.
That sucks. And there was no reason to get rid of them.
I don't know, man.
This time they just dropped blues.
Come.
Just kidding. Just kidding. It's a joke. It'd be terrible.
Comedies have been struggling for a while, and it's a thing I've been trying to think about, but it's so hard to, like, break down comedy, because not only is comedy super subjective, but also comedy changes as time changes.
Does it?
Something that was funny back in the day might not necessarily be funny anymore. You know, like how a punchline is set up, or the snappiness of an edit, or whatever. Or even just, like, the premise. Like, does getting high and going on antics sound like a funny comedy, or does that sound like everyone's general Tuesday afternoon?
Well, now that we're all very aware of the effects of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You clearly don't hallucinate.
Yeah.
And you could just have stoner characters just get into bad situations.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it ever had to be.
Yeah.
You don't have to have this weird fantastical element of it, but I'm sure you could find other ways to put it in there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one, but comedies have been lacking
Yes.
in recent years.
Yeah, they're just not letting them make certain jokes. And I think that's a big hindrance.
I think it's also, like, overproduced. you know? And I think this is something, I think they let them improv too much, especially like older, like the more iconic comedians, like Will Ferrell, for example.
I would say this started with him.
I would say they don't write scripts with jokes and punchlines. It's Will Ferrell stands there and vamps and improvs at someone for a while, and they're like, "Ah, yes, comedy gold." And it's like, is it? Is it though?
Yeah. It's Fortune, Femster,
Yeah.
the female comedian.
Yes.
She was on a podcast a while ago talking about working with Will Ferrell. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was kind of interesting. She said that he's a super awesome, friendly guy.
Seems like it.
He's actually genuinely funny. And when they filmed their scenes together, the first few takes are from the script, right? And then the next few takes, he gets to have his funny lines, right? Because they already have it just in case any of his stuff's not funny.
Yeah.
Or if Fortune's wasn't funny. Either way, if it just didn't work out, they still have the basic story, right? And then they just allow them to riff.
See, that makes sense. And I get the idea, but that doesn't work for every comedian. That's the biggest problem. Like, I feel like that female Ghostbusters movie.
Oh my god.
All of that.
Why do you keep bringing this one up?
It's just like the go-to one where you can just tell there was no written jokes. They just improv at each other.
I bet there were, and I bet they put those jokes in there, and it just didn't work out. And that's not the problem with the movie.
Yes.
It's sexism.
There are many other problems with the movie.
So, we watched the newest episode of The Last of Us,
Yeah.
Snoresville.
It was so friggin' boring. Oh my god.
I had predicted this. Didn't I say this?
You
That
did.
the next episode is going to be just boring.
We're
We're just going to stand around and mope. Blah, blah, blah.
I expected like a flashback or something. Because you mentioned that there's flashbacks in the game. And
Yes.
I'm like, oh, I thought she'd like walk into the house and like start remembering like the train of events that are happy memories that would eventually lead to their arguments from the beginning of the season.
Okay.
You know, kind of like tell us the story backwards at some point. Like half memento it, you know.
Yeah.
But it was just boring.
Yeah, the whole town decided not to help Ellie on her vendetta, and she's just decided to go.
Which I'm like, why did we waste so much time talking to the town in this regard?
She wanted their support.
But it's dumb. Because I was so annoyed. She stands up to like give her little speech, and she pulls out her little paper that she's written her speech down on, and you can see through the paper. You can see that she's like filled the whole page, and I'm like, this will be a moment where she starts to read out what she's written, but then she realizes that's not true to how she feels, and then she'll have an empowering speech. But no! She just actually reads off a whole page's worth of that. And it was really boring.
Yeah, I don't care about Jackson. Whatever, that's behind us. Yawn time.
And now we got this like new cult of whatever.
Oh, I can't remember what they're called.
They're all dead. They introduced them and then they're all dead.
Well, we'll run into more of them. We'll run into a lot of them. On both sides, Ellie and Abby. I can't... Aren't they called, like, the Scars? Somebody in the comments is going to fix it for me.
Hammer scars.
No. It's part of their weird way of life.
Yeah.
They're just weird. No, we left. So now we're going to get to Seattle.
Yeah.
This should be pretty much the rest of the season. It's just Ellie trying to find her way back to Abby and her team who are in the aquarium.
They're already in Seattle. That was at the very end of that episode.
Yeah, they got there.
Oh,
but now
it's
we
just
have to
them
explore.
navigating through Seattle.
There's a lot of stuff to go through. And I was thinking about it, and I hope they put in that real annoying... It's a parking garage, a subterranean parking garage that has a little bit of water in it, and you got to turn on the generator, and then it just lures all the monsters to you.
Nice. Yeah, no monsters in this episode.
Nope.
Not even Abby.
Well, I would say there's two of them. And his name's Tommy, and the other one's Ellie.
It has absolutely nothing to excite me or intrigue me. It feels dreadfully poorly written out. The pacing is horrible. This should have been the first episode or first two episodes, because it's been a drag.
They were going to drag out the rest of this. I'm pretty sure they want that, because they already got the third season, right?
But
I
Like-
probably want a 4th season.
But it's so boring. A lot of standing around every single sentence. There's a huge gap between their dialogue.
Yeah. I think it's crazy that they just adapted the first game in 1 season and then dared to drag out the second one like this.
I know. And, like, it's almost like, hey, that first season was really good because they did expedite certain things in certain ways.
Yes.
To keep the flow of the story.
Yeah.
And now, well, because the first season was popular, let's just not do that.
We watched Righteous Gemstones.
Yes. Second to last episode.
Yep.
Which is confusing because this felt like a finale.
Kinda.
In many ways. Like, they got... The last one will, like, wrap up any loose ends and whatever.
Yeah, they were basically able to do what we didn't think they could do.
Yeah, true.
And they somehow found a way to put it all together and still make it weird.
They always do.
Michael Rooker
Yeah.
was the villain, and
It got crazy for a second there.
yeah, when we got to his basement, I was like, oh no. Why'd we have to do that?
Yeah. It was weird. It was exciting. I don't know. It's been a good season. Just last season was a hard one to beat, and this one hasn't done it, in my opinion.
Well, get used to it because it's the final season.
I also don't care about BJ and his monkey. It's such a non-plot that's just filling screen time. It's such a filler
Mr.
plot.
Watson?
Yeah,
Dr. Watson?
Dr. Watson.
Yeah, Dr. Watson.
And it was, get it? The monkey's the same as her. What's her name? No. Jenny? What's her name? The middle sibling.
Yeah. What are you trying to say, though?
They're the same person. They're both obsessive of BJ. They're both mean and angry towards other people. I'm like, oh, I see. That's what it is. Because she was like, BJ, how can you love that monkey? It's mean to everybody, and it's filled with hate, and it attacks other people. And he's like, yeah, but it's also loyal and filled with love. And I'm like, oh, because that's what she is.
Yeah.
They're the same.
Okay.
Weird plot. Weird twists and turns.
I guess we gotta explore each character, right?
I get. Remember when it was about pole dancing, though?
Mm-hmm.
That was
just for exercise.
It was weird.
What are you gonna do when you're stuck in a mansion all day and you got nothing else to do?
They also paralyzed him to unparalyze him.
He wasn't paralyzed.
I don't know. The whole thing felt like it could have been better.
Okay. Well, it wraps up this Sunday. Captain America, Winter Soldier, a.k.a. Captain Taroff's 2. My Russian friend.
Yes. Or how I put it. What was it? Sergeant USA.
Yes.
Holiday time military man.
Yeah, there you go. Holiday time military man. So, I did create it.
Uh-huh.
I got it all up. Disney, of course, was like, whoa, copyright claim. Mm-hmm. This always works with them. And I've disputed it. It randomly slipped in one morning. Mm-hmm. I was able to pull it back. But it will come out next week.
Yes.
It's already done. It's a surefire thing.
It's a good one.
And is there anything you want to talk about?
About the movie?
Yeah, because I feel like I really kind of nail everything. Except for I don't talk about Nick Fury too much.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was anything to really say about him.
His arc is pretty straightforward.
Yep. Maria Hill, I have nothing else to say about.
Barely in it.
Don't even bother. She's not going to be in the rest.
I would say I feel like it was a better movie than the first Avenger.
Yes.
But I would say the first Avenger had much more iconic scenes, like much more noteworthy, memorable scenes in isolation. But as like a whole story, I would prefer to watch Winter Soldier.
That I don't believe you at all.
Really?
When Cap throws his shield at the Winter Soldier and he catches it
Yeah, but
on the rooftops, that is iconic.
when Tommy Lee Jones throws the grenade and he throws himself on top of it.
Okay, we're 1-1.
Yeah.
You're not winning.
To be fair, all the like iconic scenes that I'm talking about are before he becomes Captain America. After he like gets the super serum and does like the action stuff, nothing interesting happens in the first Avenger. In my humble opinion. Other than he fights Richard Armitage for that one moment.
Not even. He killed himself too.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a great movie. I really enjoy this one. I make it clear how much I enjoy this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did Saw 3 because I was like, great, Cap's not going to come out on time.
Uh-huh.
And we're slowly moving on through the Saws. The Saw 3 review,
Yes.
I went back to a different style of editing.
Yes.
You'll see how Cap is done compared to Saw. Saw, I'm pretty much just following the story.
Yes.
And the reason why is because we're going through the traps.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of my big focus, is to talk about what the traps are.
Yeah. I feel like I ranked Saw 3 too high when I did my ranking video.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I'm like, you know what, I don't think I actually like this one very much.
Okay. I love this one. It is my second favorite Saw.
What's your first favorite?
6.
Really?
Yeah. I love 6.
That's one I keep forgetting.
Dude, the carousel. Oh,
And the carousel
wet dreams.
is pretty iconic. like they end the twist at the end.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I know.
This one's just sad.
Oh yeah, no,
Like-
Jigsaw just tortured a family.
Like-
I mean, he straight up destroyed an entire family.
So unnecessarily sad for like everyone involved, I'm gonna say. Like, it was already a tragic event,
Yeah,
and then everyone else who he put in the traps, I'm like, I don't think they deserved to be punished for this. Especially when you're trying to teach Jeff a lesson. And I don't think Jeff needed to learn a lesson. His son died. I think he should go through some emotions. John, a man who would know about losing a child.
yeah. Way to call him out on that. Yeah, it was pretty messed up what he does, but I think the traps and the way it looks, how we start with police tension and then we just don't.
Yeah.
That's not what the real story is. The story's about Jeff going to the gauntlet while Lynn is trying to help Jigsaw. Mm-hmm. Something that didn't make the review was the open brain surgery part.
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing scene because it's practical.
Yes.
And that alone is like, whoa, like somebody's really using a saw to saw into this piece. Mm-hmm. Then they have to pull out that piece of skull.
Yeah, they really lavish over the gore of it,
Yeah.
but like not in like an exaggerated way.
No, they're like,
And that's what makes it more creepy. Is that you're like, oh, that is what it would be like.
yeah. But now he's just got a giant hole in his head. It's pretty gross.
The saw traps, uniquely simple. Like,
But yeah, the freezer room.
well, a lot of them is just someone like chained up and can't move, and then something happens to them.
Yeah.
Especially when we get to like the later ones where they get more and more elaborate and weird and crazy because they ran out of ideas.
I don't think they ran out of ideas. I think there's just some ideas that aren't always worthy of showcasing.
Do you remember the one that was like a floor of turned upside down lawnmowers?
Yes.
Dumb.
No, one of my favorite dumb traps is the beginning, the cold open for 7, where it's 2 guys
Yeah.
who are pushing like a circular saw, but they can control it on both ends, and they're trying to cut each other because they're in love with this girl. It's a love triangle, and the girl is dangling above them.
Yeah, it's in public and everything.
Yeah, and it's a public display, which is very, very weird.
Which is like a big sign that's like, this is not a jigsaw, this is a copycat.
Yes.
Because he wouldn't do this.
And the 2 guys, instead of deciding to kill each other, they decide to bro up and kill her.
Yeah.
So nothing was really resolved.
No. The car one is also stupid.
Oh, that one has Chester Bennington. Yep. Okay. Saw 7 sucks.
Yes, so bad.
Saw 3 is really good.
It is good. It's definitely the beginning of what would make people call it torture porn.
Yes.
It's also it doesn't have a good ending because it ends on a cliffhanger.
It kind of just stops.
Yeah.
And the reason why it stops is because they were already making 4 at this point.
Yes.
And they knew that there are certain pieces. You got to start asking yourself, where the hell are the police during this entire thing? Because they've always been part of it.
Yeah, and it's just Jeff.
Yeah. And you're like, this is weird. And the reason why is that something else is happening simultaneously.
Yes.
And then there's another piece in 5 that is happening simultaneously. That will explain the events of 3. You have to wait 2 years to understand what 3 meant.
Yeah, and it's just because like at the end of 2, we at least see that Matthews' kid is alive. You know, they open the
Daniel.
safe and he's there. In this one, Jeff's tiny little daughter, who did not need to be a victim in all of this, is trapped somewhere, still alone, and now everyone who knows where she is dead. And Jeff has no plan and then the credits roll, and I'm like, is this satisfying? Am I intrigued?
There's one person who knows where she is.
Who?
Hoffman.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that.
Yes, he does.
Who?
Wait, who doesn't know that?
Jeff.
Jeff doesn't know anything,
He
okay?
doesn't.
That's why Jeff failed so bad. That's why everybody's dead, dude.
Okay, there's only like 4 traps ish.
He goes through 4 tests,
Yeah.
but I'd say there's 3 traps.
The formula of him waltzing in, being like, I don't know if I want to forgive you, and then hemming and hawing, and then being like, okay, I will, and then he decides at the very last second, and then they obviously die, and because he sat around hemming and hawing so much.
Mm-hmm.
The first time, it's like, oh, okay. The second time, it's like, oh, we're doing this again. The third time, I'm like, okay, dude, come on.
When he's undoing the key for the rack, the key is tied to a string tied to the trigger of a shotgun, right?
Yeah.
And he's trying to just unloosen it because he's kind of pulled it enough to where it doesn't go off, and he can get to it to unloosen the key. He lets go of that string once he has the key, and he's like, I got the key, and he's just looking at the key. The shotgun goes off and kills the only guy he saved.
Yeah.
So he ends up actually just killing the dude.
I mean, I'm gonna say the way he would have died in his trap would have sucked more.
Than getting shot in the face with a shotgun? I don't know.
Well, I feel like that would be pretty instant. I feel like the pig thing would have lasted a while.
Yeah, the rack.
Sad.
That
Saddest
is-
one, I'm gonna say.
I can only think of one other test that was just as horrible, and that's in Saw 10. The bone marrow. When we get to Saw 10, we'll talk about that, but they'll never get as bad as the rack.
No.
So, that was Coffee Break. It was supposed to be 50 minutes.
Well, we had trailers we had to talk about.
I know.
Aren't you excited for Now You See Me, Now You Don't? Yippee skippy.
It looks terrible.
It looks so dumb.
When it's on Netflix, I'm totally going to watch it.
God. I hope I have like a video game to play.
I'm sure you will. So, you got anything coming up?
It's Magical Girl May.
Yay! It's finally here!
It's a lot of Monica Magica this year. I'm excited. First one is a review of Excedra, the game that just came out. By the time Coffee Break is out, it should be available for you to watch. So go ahead and watch it.
There
Also,
you go.
play the game. It's good. I liked it a lot.
Okay. Wukong. I'm trying to fix my work schedule so that I could just stream this on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be streaming until I finally beat the thing. Because it's taking me way too long, and these giant chunks aren't working out. And then, like I said, Cap 2 next week.
Uh-huh.
I think that's it for now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work to get ahead in life.
Easier said than done.
Yes, I think we're all in this rat race. But yes, it's very frustrating. Every day you make a step forward and someone pushes you 3 steps back.
Or it's when you're sitting there looking at your 7 things you want to do, and you get overwhelmed. So you work on one, but now you're like, oh no, I'm behind because I'm not working on the other 6.
Mm-hmm.
And so you stop working on that one, but because now you're not working on that one, you're like, oh no, I'm behind. I'm not working on that one either.
Yep. Yeah, it could be... Doing these projects kind of takes a thing out of you.
It does.
Okay, well, that was Coffee Break. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Be safe.
Yes,
It's
be
getting
safe.
hotter.
Yeah, stay hydrated.
Yes.
And it's allergy season.
Yes.
It's horrible.
Sorry. That sucks.
Bye.
Bye.